This is just a quick video to demonstrate the capability of OctopuSequencer to do things with rudiments. Basically, I have it set up to use the TopLine functionality. So in the sequencer routing, let me get rid of all of these. I'm basically routing sequencer 1 to the drum's TopLine section. And that means that all these dots here are going to be triggering sounds from in here. And what we're going to do today in the pitch list is type in rudiments. We can type in R, L, K or H, lowercase or uppercase. The uppercase letters represent accented strokes and the lowercase letters represent tap strokes. And you can set the volumes of the accents and taps using these volume controls here. So just to give you a quick demonstration, I'm going to go R space R, L space K space H space H. So upper and lower cases, enter, and then this is what we get. And here we can see right, left, kick, hat, and the red is the accented and the yellow is the unaccented. And we're getting snare drum, kick, and the hat because that's what L, R, K, and H is set to. If I change the right to a low tom by selecting the low tom sound on here and then clicking R, then we get this. Left, there we go. Right, left, kick, and hat. What I've added is the ability to do diddles and flams with the hands. So we're going to ignore the K and H for now. And if you want to put in a diddle, then that's RR without space between, or LL, or capital RR, or capital LL. So that's going to be a right diddle at the tap velocity and a left diddle at the tap velocity, followed by a right diddle at the accent velocity and a left diddle at the accent velocity. Space to play. And I've also added flams, so that would be RF for a right flam and LF for a left flam. And again, here you can see the sticking that's being used. On my website, I'm going to enter all the rudiments for you, and you can just copy and paste these in to see what they sound like. So say you wanted to work on your paradiddles. Just go over here and find paradiddle, which is single paradiddle. Copy the text, paste it in to OctopuSequencer, enter, and space to play. And then you can just play along. And then what you can do is mute the right hand or the left hand to see what the other hand is doing. So let me turn the click up so we've got a reference. And I'm going to mute the left hand. So now we're just hearing the right hand part of a paradiddle. And let me put it on the snare drum. Okay, so this is the right hand half of a paradiddle. And if I'm working on rudiments, what I want to know is what each limb is doing, because I want to figure out whether I'm playing downstrokes or tap strokes or upstrokes or full strokes. And in this case, we've got down, tap, tap, up, because we want the first stroke to be an accent, the rest of them to be taps, and the last one needs to be an upstroke to prepare for the accent again. Down, tap, tap, up, down, tap, tap, up. Loud, quiet, quiet, quiet. Loud, quiet, quiet, quiet. And once you've figured that out, you can also use OctopuSequencer to play one hand while you fill in the other hand. So I'm going to fill in the left hand part while OctopuSequencer plays the right hand part. So this becomes more useful when you have things with flams in, because they're sometimes difficult to figure out what each individual hand is doing. So to give you an example of that, say you were playing through the Benny Greb exercises off his DVD. He takes just 4 notes, right, left, and then either accents or diddles or flams, the permutations of those. So let's say you've got right, left, and you're going to flam the first one. You're going to do a right flam instead of a regular right. So it's going to be this. So to program that into OctopuSequencer, I just go RF for right flam, left, right, left. Oops, mute, unmute. So we can hear the right hand part, which is accent up, down, up, down, up, down, up. The left hand part is 1E, A2E, A3E, A4E. So now we know that the left hand is just playing taps and the right hand is playing down, up, down, up. And we can work on those two things by themselves. So you can paste in any of the rudiments from here and hear what they sound like, break them down, split them between sound sources, you know, assigning the right hand to a tom or a ride cymbal, so that you can get to hear them and focus on which hand is doing what. You could paste something in without paying any attention to the actual sticking. Let's say I put in a flam accent. I'm not going to look at the sticking, I'm just going to paste it in. I'm going to set the right hand to be a tom. And then I'm just going to listen. And you could try and pick out the left-hand part of that and start to play that by itself, and pick out the right-hand part and try and play that by itself and put them together. So that's doing a little bit of ear training. If you type in a regular paradiddle, you could also do things like you would find in the beginning of the Vinnie Colaiuta book, where you're playing things at different rates. So at the moment, the rate is 16th notes, which is like 4 notes per quarter note. If I change that to 20th notes, then this is going to be going at 5 notes per quarter note. So it's playing a quintuplet rate. So if the click is 1, 2, 3, 4, 16th notes would be, and 20th notes would be, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you want to know what it sounds like to play a paradiddle at that rate over the click, then you set it to 20th notes and you have your regular paradiddle in here. Hit space. I can put the right hand back on a snare drum. So then you can either focus on the cowbell, which is playing the click, and you'll hear 5 notes with an accent every 4 notes, or you can focus on the paradiddle part of it and hear the actual paradiddle and the accents. And what you're getting is a 4 against 5 polyrhythm. You could do the same and set this to 12th notes, which is triplets, and then you're playing triplets but playing paradiddles in those triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can also do the opposite, which is leave it at 16th notes. And instead of using the accent tap velocity for deciding where the accents are, you can use the velocity selector. So I could choose 5 steps and accent the first of those 5, and then we're accenting every 5th note of a paradiddle. So this time it's going to change between being on the right hand or the left hand. So let me change the right hand to a tom again so we can hear the difference. So you get into more complicated territory that way. Finally, let me give you an example of a more complicated kind of rudimental fill. This is from I'm Tweaked by Vinnie Colaiuta, and it's a fill that leads out of his solo into the rest of the song. I'm going to change the right hand back to a snare drum, and I'm going to put the tempo up. And you can see here that it's not playing notes on some of them, and that's because I've put dashes in to represent rests. So again, you can mute one part of that and see what the left hand has to play in this fill, or see what the right hand has to play. Oops. So that's it. I'm sure you can see the possibilities there. It's a really good practice tool. Just set this up by your practice pad and just work on the accuracy of the rudiments, different tempos, playing just one half of them, and see how you get on with that.